Welcome back to Reds Fusion, LFC, the home of every Liverpool fan who lives and breathes the red passion. Today, we've got massive breaking news coming out of Anfield. David Ornstein drops a bombshell on Liverpool's January transfer plans. Plus, Arne Slot's got a 5-point master plan to turn things around. A big Trent Alexander-Arnold agreement. Luis Díaz sends a powerful message. And Wayne Rooney doesn't hold back on Mo Salah and Virgil van Dijk. Stick around till the end. You won't believe what's coming next for the Reds. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to stay updated with every twist and turn in the transfer window. David Ornstein drops a surprising update on Liverpool transfer plans for January. Liverpool may have spent big in the summer, but there is every chance that they make further moves when the transfer window reopens in January. Specifically, there is scope for a centre-back to arrive. Given that Giovanni Leone will be sidelined for the foreseeable future after tearing his ACL, Leone joined in the summer. And the plan had been for him to be one of two central defenders arriving at Anfield. Gerald Quansah needed to be replaced. But there was also a desire for a Joe Gomez upgrade to be sought, and one almost arrived in Marc Guéhi. But a deal broke down late in the transfer window. Nevertheless, Guéhi has remained on Liverpool's radar, and it has been expected that they will try again for him in January, especially with Leone out long-term. However, that now may not be the case. Liverpool not planning Marc Guéhi move in January. Speaking on NBC Sports, David Ornstein has revealed that Liverpool are not intending to sign Guéhi in January. Not only that, there are currently no plans for any central defender to arrive at that time. They tried for Marc Guéhi, it collapsed on deadline day, and I think Liverpool would go back in for him in the summer of 2026. I'm not expecting him to leave Crystal Palace in January. Actually, I'm not expecting Liverpool to go for a centre-back in January, as things stand. Of course, these things could change, but I don't think it's a plan. Ornstein has also stated that it will far from straightforward to sign Guéhi next summer. Even if he does not sign a new Crystal Palace contract, Liverpool won't have a clear run at Guéhi, because there's going to be competition perhaps from the likes of Real Madrid, Barcelona, Bayern Munich, Manchester City. Guéhi would be a top signing for Liverpool, but it does appear that it will not be easy to secure his signature next summer. Nevertheless, there is confidence among club officials that he will still arrive at Anfield. Arne Slot's Liverpool in-tray with 5 key changes needed to turn Reds form around. The ECHO assesses what Arne Slot's international break-in tray may look like after 3 successive defeats for the first time at Anfield. Day chastening week of 3 successive defeats has left Arne Slot heading into the international break in his worst run as Liverpool boss. Successive to 1 reverses at Crystal Palace and Chelsea came either side of a 1-0 defeat to Galatasaray in the Champions League on Tuesday. To leave Slot now officially stuck in his worst patch of results since he took over from Jurgen Klopp at the start of last season. The Premier League champions head into the break in second, a point behind new leaders Arsenal and host historic rivals Manchester United in their next assignment on October 19th. The Echo assesses what is going wrong and what can be done to arrest an early season blip. Settle on fullback shaving spent close to £70 million on the arrivals of 2 fullbacks in Jeremy Frimpong and Milos. It's been a summer of change in those defensive positions for Slot. The departure of Trent Alexander-Arnold to Real Madrid at the start of June, and the increased competition for Andy Robertson and Connor Bradley means Slot has a new-look fullback team to choose from this term so far, though it's fair to say the Dutchman is working out what his best combination is. In the battle on the left side of the pitch, it is Kirkez who has nudged ahead of Robertson, with the young Hungarian starting all 7 fixtures so far. Kirkez, though, is enduring a tough time. Hooked before halftime at Burnley when on a yellow card for a blatant dive, the former Bournemouth man is learning on the job about the huge increase in expectations and demands at a club the size of Liverpool. Subbed off for the long-serving Robertson at Chelsea on Saturday. The Scotland captain helped inject some impetus into proceedings as the visitors improved after the break. However, questions were asked of the 31-year-old, who allowed Esteval Willian to sneak in to score a stoppage-time winner. On the right side, Bradley has started more Premier League games than Frimpong, who suffered a hamstring injury against Bournemouth in August. But the Northern Irishman himself is yet to get up to full speed due to a truncated preseason. According to Slot, settling on a pairing and allowing them to get some consistency and rhythm will help out the rest of the back. Trent Alexander-Arnold agreement reached as Liverpool sent clear. Message latest Liverpool news, as the Reds have been sent. Another verdict about the impact of Trent Alexander-Arnold's departure Gary Lineker has echoed comments made by Jamie Redknapp about Liverpool missing Trent Alexander-Arnold this season. The Reds sold the right back to Real Madrid at the start of the summer transfer window. Putting an end to months of intense speculation, Alexander-Arnold was set to leave Liverpool on a free transfer. But an agreement was reached with Real for the defender to depart ahead of his deal, expiring in time to participate in the FIFA Club World Cup. The Reds went on to replace Alexander-Arnold with the signing of Jeremy Frimpong from Bayer Leverkusen, while right-back Connor Bradley is also still at the club. Saturday saw Liverpool lose 2-1 to Chelsea in the Premier League, which was their third consecutive defeat across all competitions. Speaking on the Rest is Football podcast, Lineker believes the Reds are missing Alexander-Arnold's influence in attack this season, in terms of creativity as much as anything else. I think they're really missing Trent Alexander-Arnold, said Lineker. Before that, sometimes Trent would go forward and they would, perhaps, get exposed defensively. But what he gives you going the other way, it's impossible to replace. There's not another player I can think of in world football who plays that position right back in the way that he plays it offensively. I also think that Mo Salah is missing him. That connection that they had. Yes, sometimes they would get exposed in behind, but they would have someone try and cover that position. Last season, it was mostly Previous to that would be Jordan Henderson. You've got to say it was worth his weight in gold going forward. And I always used to say, stop worrying about him, Alexander-Arnold, making the odd tiny mistake defensively, because what he gives you the other way is incredible. Lineker's comments echo remarks made by Redknapp over the weekend, where the former Liverpool star also believes his old club have issues at right back. Redknapp explained how Alexander-Arnold's absence has created problems for head coach Arne Slot this season. They've got problems at fullback. They're missing Trent Alexander-Arnold, Redknapp told Sky Sports on Saturday. They haven't played the same right back since the Burnley game. Connor Bradley had a tough 45 minutes. Milos Kyrgios hasn't quite adapted either. The pressure of playing for Bournemouth isn't the same. They have problems all over the pitch, but especially at fullback with Andy Robertson's injury at the end. This international break could be a good chance to reset. Luis Díaz sticks knife in as Liverpool sent timely message after transfer. 7 members of Liverpool's Premier League winning squad left the club permanently this summer, but not all of them are getting on as well as Luis Díaz at Bayern Munich. Liverpool's summer signings are admittedly yet to hit the ground running at Anfield, as Arne Slot's new-look side continues to gel. Hugo Ekitike has been the standout new arrival for the Reds during the opening 2 months of the season, but his fellow recruits are taking their time to adjust. In truth, that is hardly a surprise. Liverpool brought in 10 new players as they went on a £450 million spending spree. It was always going to take time for things to click after so much upheaval, and it is not as though it was one-way traffic for the Reds on the transfer front during the summer, with the club also receiving over £200 million when cashing in on a number of senior players. 7 of Slot's Premier League winning squad moved on permanently, or at least committed to, but more on that later in the summer. Some of them have enjoyed blistering starts in their new surroundings, with Luis Díaz's form for Bayern Munich not going unnoticed at a time when Liverpool are struggling in front of goal. The Colombian boasts 6 goals and 4 assists from his first 10 outings for Bayern Munich following his £65.5 million transfer, and has already won his first trophy with the Bavarians after scoring the would-be winner on his debut against VfB Stuttgart in the Franz Beckenbauer Super Cup. If Luis Díaz scores more goals, we'll be unbeatable. Bayern president Herbert Hainer recently declared, according to Bild, as quoted by Sport Witness. Former Liverpool striker Daniel Sturridge has already pointed to the departure of the Colombian as one of the reasons why the Reds are struggling this season. Should the Bavarians go on to win trophies galore this season, with Díaz at the heart of it, and Liverpool's own mini-blip escalates into a full-blown crisis, it will stick the knife in back at Anfield. Tyler Morton is earning rave reviews in France, following his £15 million move to Lyon, and scored his first goal for the club in their recent win over Lille. Starting 7 of his 8 appearances in League One and the Europa League, it has not taken the 22-year-old to establish himself as a key player. With his new side sitting 4th in the table, meanwhile he has already been quizzed about the possibility of even earning an England call-up in time for next summer's World Cup. Darwin Núñez started well for Al Hilal, with 2 goals and an assist from his first 4 outings after his £56.6 million transfer, but has missed the Saudi Pro League outfit's last 3 games with a knee injury. Kaoimhin Kelleher has enjoyed a respectable start for Brentford after leaving Liverpool to be number 1 elsewhere, with his highlight to date being saving a penalty for the Bees in their 3-1 victory over Manchester United earlier this month. Meanwhile, Ural Kwanzaa has been an ever-present for Bayer Leverkusen, completing every minute of their 9 matches to date and scoring on his debut against Hoffenheim. His form earned him an England recall, though it has already been a complex campaign for his new club, who sit 5th in the table after head coach Erik ten Hag was sacked after just 3 games in charge, but it has not been plain sailing for everyone. Trent Alexander-Arnold found himself in and out of the Real Madrid starting facing intense scrutiny for his performances. Before suffering a hamstring injury early on in the La Liga Giants Champions League win over Marseille last month, he has made 10 appearances for the Spanish outfit to date, with half of them coming in last summer's FIFA Club World Cup, but started only twice in La Liga before his untimely injury. Alexander-Arnold has made more of an impact than Harvey Elliott, at least, who joined Aston Villa on loan on transfer deadline day. The 22-year-old has made 5 appearances for the Villains to date, scoring once, but he was withdrawn at halftime when handed his first, and so far only, Premier League start against former club Fulham last month, limited to a 4-minute substitute appearance in Villa's next outing against Feyenoord. He was then left unused on the bench for Sunday's win over Burnley. Wayne Rooney doesn't hold back, as Mo Salah ripped apart and Virgil van Dijk causes worry. Liverpool suffered their 3rd consecutive defeat as they were beaten 2-1 by Chelsea at Anfield. And Wayne Rooney has questioned Mohamed Salah's work ethic. Wayne Rooney has taken a swipe at Liverpool's Mohamed Salah, questioning his work ethic and suggesting that the arrival of high-profile signings may have dented the Egyptian's ego. The Reds are reeling from their 3rd consecutive defeat, this time a 2-1 loss to Chelsea in the Premier League. The former Everton and Manchester United forward didn't hold back in his critique of Salah, following Liverpool's disappointing performance against Enzo Maresca's side. A last-minute goal from Estevão Willian sealed the defeat for Arne Slot's team, preventing them from reclaiming the top spot in the league. Rooney suggested that the recent arrivals of Alexander Isak, Hugo Ekitike, and Florian Wirtz might have unsettled Salah, he said, with the players coming in. Isak, Hugo, Ekitike, and Wirtz, the money they have spent on them. What does Salah think now? Top players have an ego, and Mo Salah has been one of the best players in the league for a long time. I think the last week has shown that when it's gone well, you're scoring goals and you're winning games. It's great, and the team will put up with that. But over the last week, I'd question his work ethic. I know he doesn't always get back and defend as much, but in the Chelsea game, his fullback is getting torn apart, and he is watching. Players like Van Dijk and Alisson, who I know wasn't playing, but the leaders in the dressing room should be telling him, you need to help it. For me, that was a worry. He has looked a little bit lost the past week. In my opinion, Rooney has previously voiced concerns that Isak's high-profile move from Newcastle may have unsettled Salah. Earlier this season, he suggested that the Liverpool forward might be unhappy with the Swede's arrival, as it shifted the spotlight away from the Red Star player, even though Salah has been the best player at Liverpool for years. He won't be happy that Isak has come in and is getting the attention, he commented in September. It's a matter of personal pride. He will want to be the best. When we signed Tevez, there were lots of reports saying they were concerned that we couldn't play together. But as soon as we signed players, I used to think, there's no way he is coming in to take my place. So that naturally gives you a lift.